Pennsylvania, Mr. Kelly, to inquire.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Secretary, good to see you. I do want to go over some things because I think at the end of the day, we start to talk about real dollars. And I think it was Everett Dirksen that said, you know, a billion here, a billion there. Pretty soon you're talking about real money. Now it seems to be a trillion here, a trillion there. Now we're talking about real money. I think the thing that's most disturbing about that, I've been told now for 11 years, you can't expect the government to work the way businesses do in the private sector. And I would say it's just the opposite of that. There's no way anybody in the private sector can operate the way the government does. As we look at this mounting debt, and I'm trying to understand going into the future, when is enough, and at what point do we start to look at what is the return on the investment to the American taxpayer? You and I are both in the same business. You know, it's funded by taxpayers, either their revenue each year or the money that we borrow. There is one thing, though, I want to point out to you. So my understanding is there's about 80,000 people that work in HHS, is it, with a $1.8 trillion budget. The problem I have is that several times I have written HHS, and I'll just go over them real quick, and then also, Chairman, I'd like to submit these for the record. So last year, you and I talked about this in April. It was Secretary Becerra last April. I sent you this letter requesting a copy of the contract for the emergency intake site established by HHS in Erie, Pennsylvania for unaccompanied children crossing the border. You and I also spoke about it at length at our June budget hearing, where you committed to get me an answer in a timely manner. Instead, the department sent me, and I have a copy of the letter, and mostly what it is thank you for inquiring. We appreciate that, and we'll get back to you at some time in the future. I've never had an answer to it. I also sent a letter, and there's 90-some of our colleagues that are on this letter, and this has to do something that is really, for those of us in the pro-life side of this body. Secretary Becerra, as you know, Congress has a long-standing requirement that taxpayer dollars may not be used for abortion. That's why I was disturbed when, in September of last year, I began hearing allegations that the University of Pittsburgh was performing illegal abortions as part of an NIH-funded fetal tissue repository program. Since that time, I have signed on to several letters to you on that topic, including this letter that I led with more than 92 of my colleagues outlining specific data we wanted NIH to provide. We've never had a response. Instead, I've had 3 letters, and this will pretty much sum up where it is. And this is from the Department of Health and Human Services, and this is Tara A. Schwartz, who's the acting principal deputy director. Now, why do I bring it up? Because customer service, this is not a complaint department, this is customer service. The way this letter starts off is, Dear Representative Kelly, thank you for your September 21, 2021 letter. Thank you for your October 29, 2021 letter. And thank you for your letter of December 15, 2021 regarding your concerns about research at the University of Pittsburgh. The answer was that Pitt funded an independent study to find out that they were doing nothing wrong, and what NIH said to me, you should go onto the website if you have any further questions. 80,000 people, almost $2 trillion in the budget, and I get a letter back, thank you for your inquiry, go to our website to get an answer. That is hardly good customer service. I'm not talking about members of Congress. I'm talking about hardworking American taxpayers who are paying for these services. We do a lot of wonderful things. The government doesn't pay for one damn thing. Taxpayers do. I'm just asking, please, sometime before I expire or you leave office, please get me an answer to these questions I have. It's not me that's asking them, it's constituents asking me to find out for them. It would be great to have that type of a dialogue sometime. Thank you.
Whatever the differences of opinion we have here, we don't want the gentleman to expire.